your existing bank, or you might already have security with them. So it would make it even better for them to assist you with an energy loan, because you'll be saving so much more money to be more efficient to pay them back. So we have been in constant dialogue, and we have made special arrangements with them to facilitate the shortage.
One of the key things that maybe a person coming to borrow would need to really present is a history, good records,
right,
a history of good
their business
profitability, because right now I think the banks, with the JDX rates down, there is a kind of almost competition for demand for loans. And if you have your business in good order, and you present what you know you have to present, and that you show the debt servicing capacity of your business, I think that bankers are moving towards that a lot more in defense of the commercial banks and a bank like the Exim Bank, you know? And I should just venture to say that perhaps equipment in this case, we do take equipment at the Exim Bank, which the commercial banks are very, very nervous about, but the equipment has to be serialized and easily identified. And I'm not so sure if that might be the case with some of the, like the solar panels or some of the things that might be used in the...
I'm pretty sure they have serial numbers.
Possibly, you know? But just to underscore the point that we are willing and ready to support such a scheme.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, did everybody hear that? You know that shoot up Exim Bank way up.
Wouldn't it make sense from a commercial, for example, my company, we would love to access funds to get some of our projects going, because we do a lot of our projects on our energy performance contracts. Would it be possible for us to, I don't know, set up some sort of a special facility for ESCOs? Because I think that type of financing would be a little bit different from what the businesses would want to go into. Would that be possible? And
it's very possible. It exists right now.
yeah, I'm hearing about the taking equipment, because that's one of the biggest problems we find. You're going to be putting in $6 million worth of equipment under, say, an $8 or $10 million project, but nobody pays any attention to the equipment. A lot of these equipment have significant value. Okay. So why is that not factored into? I mean, I don't think we're being as creative as we can be to get over the obstacles that we're having in terms of collateral in Jamaica. Or in the US, I mean, they're doing so many different things, applying the repayment to taxes, to property taxes on a yearly basis, amortizing it over longer periods. I know all of that goes to, you know, the bank has to make money, but we need to get more creative than bring me a piece of title to collateralize a loan, I think.
I think Val answered your question, so it's good that you still asked it anyway. But I agree with you. We're still in a age-old, old-fashioned, traditional way, most banks. And to tell them to take equipment, what? Take equipment? Yet, we know that the parking lots are full of cars for the banks right now, and those are depreciating assets. And this is actually saving the country of, you know, millions of dollars. So our work continues, education at the banks, changing their thought process. It's a work, but I believe and I have faith that it will work. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's me back. As you observe, there's a slot which is called general discussion, and we had expected that we'd have been, you know, if we'd have had time to really deal with the general discussion. But I'm sure you have vented your statements and you've received responses to questions. If you have any burning issue that you'd like to bring forward. Now is the time, but we'd like to make it as short as possible. We won't go into this a lengthy discussion again.
In India and China, there's a massive thermal conversion as being probably a far more cost-effective way of converting solar energy.
Yeah.
Because there are ways of converting it to electricity, and of course it's used for hot water heating and process hot water. But it just, as a matter of fact, in India, it's used directly for things like institutional cooking, etc. But that technology seems not to have taken on in Jamaica. Isn't it a far more cost-effective way to convert solar energy than, say, photovoltaics?
The technology is not as mature as it might seem. You know, the type of materials used to build it, or you respond to, like in our situation, how do you respond to a hurricane? You know, so some of those things. Take, for instance, one of my favorite things when talking about photovoltaics, and I love to talk about the negatives because I sell the thing too, right? And people understand that I'm not just shooting it down. But my favorite term is that, all right, what do you do with a photovoltaic system when there's a hurricane watch? And the larger the photovoltaic system is, the greater the risk. And what do you do even if the photovoltaic system is designed to survive 140 miles per hour wind, which is generally the claim, right? Can it survive a breadfruit limb coming at 140 miles per hour? You know, these are the practical questions that we need to ask. You know, when you get a call or you hear on the radio that we're now on hurricane watch, do you have people? And when you call out your tradesmen to say, look, there's a hurricane watch which is 24 hours, will he not go home to take care of his family in order to disassemble 300 or 500 solar photovoltaic systems?
But isn't
these are some of the things that we need to take into consideration as well in terms of the reliability of the system. And a final comment that, you know, I want to plant these thoughts into your minds because we're all Jamaicans, right? The thing is, it is not good enough to look at the cost per watt. And that's a big question. What's the cost per watt of a photovoltaic system? Because you can get a photovoltaic system. It looks all right. It looks like furniture in the house, in the living room, right? But they have efficiency ranges. Some are at efficiencies of 4%, while others are at efficiencies of 15%. Going back to an improvement. Some now that they're producing have a sort of solar water heating panel below it, because I'm in the trade. When you put a photovoltaic system out there in the sun, the temperature at which it's generated is sometimes over 200 degrees. The greater the temperature of the solar panel is, the less the electricity it produces. So what some manufacturers do is to deliver a system to you which has a water cooling panel below it, and that water, which is heated by the heat, then provides domestic water. So be careful how you select and go for these technologies. You can get a cheap solar panel, which might be at 4%, when in actual fact, the ideal should be 15%. Okay? So it's not just a matter of, oh, yes, photovoltaic, and that's a photograph, and it works, and you get electricity, and it's rated at 5 or 6 kilowatt. You can have one that's rated at 6 kilowatt. That will only give you 6 kilowatt for 15 minutes of the day at peak. So, you know, you rely on a good engineer. Let us go back to engineering. Let us go back to advanced